Hi, it's Ian. Welcome back to my 30 Days of Knife Skills. Today is day 15 and we are working with radishes. So these just came out of the garden today and I have 3 radishes and because it's so similar, 1 kabu. This is a Japanese turnip, one of my favorite things. So when it's this fresh, the first thing I think about is the greens are just as equally valuable as the actual root. So I will take this off, maybe get rid of any kind of yellowing or very eaten up. Obviously these are organic and the bugs have eaten, so maybe I would toss out some of these, or if there's any dirt trapped, get rid of those. Maybe something like that. And then I might chop it very fine and salt, add 2% by weight salt, and let it sit and squeeze out the really green juices. And that might be a great thing to add. Sometimes when I make rice, right when it's finished, I'll throw those in and just mix it in, and it's a nice little flavor addition. Or just eat it as a pickle. There's a lot of different things you can do. So I wouldn't eat it raw as is in a salad because it's a little tough, and I think you need some kind of action either by salt or by blanching or cooking or something like that. So another way I might eat the greens would be saute it and put in a little bit of butter and shoyu, which is a great combination. It's a very quick side dish that actually this small amount would come down into a very, very tiny amount, so it would be barely enough for even one person. But if you have more greens, that's a great way to do that. You could mix greens as well. Another way would be to blanch. I might blanch these for 2 to 3 minutes, shock them in cold water, and then cut them into 1 inch or so pieces, and either just dress that and have that as a kind of a side dish, or maybe make some kind of like a goma-ae, which is a very typical Japanese sesame-based dressing. So those are some things I would do, but the greens are definitely delicious when they're this fresh. So do not throw those away. They're really good. Maybe I'll start with the kabu here. Just like other root vegetables, usually the first thing I would do is to remove both ends, and then I might be peeling them. It kind of depends if I peel or not, how tough it is and how dirty, and maybe if there might be some bug parts that I want to remove later on. So that's the first cut I would make. By the way, this part in Japan, a lot of times it's usually not a kabu but a daikon top. But a lot of times chefs will hold on to this and use it to clean their knife. So you just put a little cleaner, like a cleanser or something like that, and just use this part. So you have a handle and a nice area, flat area to do that. So, and then once you're done, you can just toss that. Since you're going to toss it anyway, might as well use it for something else. So same thing as peeling other things. Once you take the ends off, you want to go and get the entire surface and just rotate and peel and get everything off in an efficient manner. If you start peeling without taking the ends off, then you'll be left with all these little spots that you didn't quite get, and it takes longer to get to that. So now you have this. Kabu is just delicious eating raw, and a lot of times I will just make wedges like this, depending on the size. Maybe I might do in 6 pieces for something like this, and just put it on a plate like that. You could put it on a salt block, and it'll pick up some salty flavor that way. But this kind of shape is really good and easy to pick up with chopsticks. I do this quite a bit. Another way is to just do slices. So you could do you could slice it when it's whole before cutting it in half, and get nice round slices, maybe about 1 to 2 millimeters thick. That's good in a salad on its own, or it's even better if you pre-salt it a little bit, and it kind of gets that seasoning in there, and it breaks down just a little bit, and it's yeah, it just softens it a little bit, and it's very, very nice texture for kabu. Or you could do these slices like this. It's another way to do it. Looks like there's a bug in this one, so I might, oops. Oh yeah, little buggy spot. Take that off. Take that off. So doing slices the other way is okay, but I prefer slicing going this way. So maybe I'll do that with these radishes here. So again, take the ends off. Depends on what it looks like, if I want to peel or not. Or maybe I will choose to peel only the spots that look a little bit rough or buggy. It could turn into a little bit of a decorative look as well if I was going to slice this way. Something like that. So pretty much the same thing. It takes really well to salt as well, or you could just throw it into a salad like that if it's sliced nice and thin. I think radishes, compared to kabu, these will have a little bit more structure, so they won't break down quite as quickly with salt. But again, a lot of times when it's this fresh, looks like this one is okay. When it's this fresh, usually I might do this shape like this and just put it on a plate like that. They're just really good this way, so maybe it might look nice mixed up. Some white, some red, some sweeter. The radish is a little bit spicy. The kabu is quite sweet and a little bit softer, kind of a gentler texture. So that might be something. You could also, another way I might use radishes, and when I get to the end I turn it around so I can get a better grip. That's something I do with pretty much any vegetable. If I'm getting to the end and it's harder to hold on to the rounded area, just flip it, and then you can hold it with your thumb on the side, and then put your first fingernail, and then it allows you to kind of get the rest of the way. So pretty much almost anything I cut, if it has a rounded area, usually I'm doing that toward the end. So once you have these slices, doing this kind of julienne, which looks really pretty, is a great complement to julienned cucumbers, especially for something like chilled noodles like somen or soba. It's good in a salad just like this too. It looks really nice, and again, just like cucumbers, I might throw this into cold water for a few minutes and get them crisped up a little bit. It's another very useful way to use them. So yeah, definitely don't throw the greens out. Use them if they're fresh. I usually do the kind of the wedges and just eat them like that, or slice for salads, or maybe julienne for cold noodles or salad. So that's pretty much the main ways that I use them. This, by the way, this is a santoku knife. This is a stainless steel one that santoku is very common in Japan for home use. Chefs in restaurants often will use the gyuto, a longer, slightly different profiled knife, but the santoku is supposed to be able to have 3 skills of cutting vegetables, fish, and meat. So traditionally, Japanese knives might be separated into specializing in doing each of those things, but this is meant to be supposed to be able to do everything. And it's a little bit shorter than my Gyuto, but it's quite user-friendly for all kinds of tasks. So it's good in the hand. It's not too long. It's has a little bit of curve, but not too much. So it's great in a lot of applications. If I'm going to cut a lot of acidic things and I don't want to bother with using towels to wipe it off all the time, then I would definitely pick up something like this one. It's a little bit easier to deal with, the stainless one. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you on the next one.